In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your transmission mount on your Mazda 3. It's located underneath the battery and battery tray. All right, I've marked a spot with a crayon where I'm going to support my engine with the engine jack, with the floor jack. And we're not going to jack it up, we're just going to support it. You don't need to remove the splash shield for this. It does bend a little bit. So once you feel some resistance, you're going to stop. This vehicle is missing a lot of parts and pieces. I'm going to do my best to show you how to remove what you probably have on your vehicle. There should be a cover to start out. So you want to take it out of these tabs by pushing in and disconnecting it and taking it off. After you're done doing that, you're going to disconnect this negative battery terminal. This vehicle also has aftermarket speaker wire, so disregard that. Remove your negative battery terminal. I used a 10mm wrench. Now you can remove your positive terminal using a 10mm again. And just set that off to the side. At this point, this vehicle is missing its hold down. You're going to use a 10mm socket and take off the bar that looks like sort of like a bow tie here, which ours is missing. And there's a bolt on this side, or a nut on this side, and a nut on this side. Using a 10mm socket, you're going to remove those. From there, we can take the battery out. I'm not worried about the speaker wire because our radio is missing, which is also aftermarket. Using a 10mm socket, in our case we're using a 3/8 that I hammered on because it's so rusty. You're going to take out this bolt and this one over here. All right, you're probably going to be using the same size, 10mm. I'm using a 9 because I had to hammer it on. So after you remove this bolt, this one, we're going to go to this one. Using a 10mm socket and an extension. I'm going to take that out. At this point, you're going to take your airbox off. We undid our hose clamp here and took off the aftermarket stuff. You guys should have some sort of a box lid. You're going to take that off and then set that off to the side and then pull this out. There's rubber grommets that you got to yank on to pull out. I'll show that to you. There's one here and one here, so you yank really hard and this will come out. Using a 10mm socket, we're going to get this nut off the stud. Now we're going to take this off the stud. That's going to be holding your electrical stuff for the PCM. And we're going to take this cover off. It has a couple of tabs here that you're just going to push in here and then pull it off. We're going to flip up this white connector like that, using a flathead screwdriver, and then we're going to disconnect these connectors. Now we're going to gently move these harnesses aside. I'm going to unsnap this, which mine is already unsnapped, but if yours is not, you're going to take it out of this area and just set it to the side. you are going to have to disconnect this grommet here that's in the bottom of the battery case. You're going to use a trim tool and take that out. Now we can pull this out. Make sure your harnesses are all away. I'm just going to leave this here because our plastic is pretty brittle and I don't want to break all of that. We're going to take this battery bracket off first with a 17mm socket. There's 4 bolts. Now we're going to use a 10mm socket. Take off those 2 right here. And set that off to the side. Once you get all the bolts out, you can take this out to get to our mount. So bring it up under the harness, and you can just set it off to the side. Using a 17mm, we're going to take out the center bolt. Just do another check to make sure your transmission is being supported by your jack underneath. All right, remove your bolt and your mount. Just make sure your surfaces are clean before installing the new mount. I can put the new mount on. All right, there is a TSB on this vehicle for this mount stating that this bolt needs to be replaced with a 10 grade. Currently, if yours has an 8 grade, you need a 10. After you get a bolt, you're going to put some Loctite here. You're going to use the blue Loctite, and we are going to insert it. Just hand tighten that center one, make sure everything is sitting where it belongs. Now you can slide your battery bracket back on. And we can get these 2 small 10mm bolts started. And our nuts. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 nuts. Once you get those started, you can snug them down, and then we're going to be torquing all of them. I'm going to do opposite corners. All right, now that everything's snug, let's start torquing our bolts. Our center bolt is going to be torqued to 75 foot-pounds. Now the 4 nuts on the outside corners are 35 foot-pounds. And now we'll torque our 10mm bolts to 80 inch-pounds. Now you can let your jack down. Now we're going to reinstall our battery box. Make sure that the holes line up. You got one here, here, and here. Now we're going to put our bolts in. Your wiring harnesses back in place. Press them down. And lock it in place, and then do the same on the other one. Put the bracket back on the stud, like that, and put the nut on. Now snug that up. Now line up your side bracket here. Ours is a little broken, so we're going to make it work. Now we're going to put our airbox back, at least the bottom half of it. Push it into the grommets. Now put the top of your airbox on and connect your connector. Place your battery in. Put your positive terminal on first. Make sure it's all the way down. Tighten it up. Do the same on the negative. Snug it up. Make sure it doesn't move. Now you can place your bow tie hold down and tighten these 2 nuts with a 10mm socket. And then put your battery tray cover back on. Now you can put your cover back on. Snap it into place.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.